So we have some music. Yep, we're going to sing some songs.
Just text me sometime.
We do a little exercise building on our time together last time. We'll do some small group work for just a few minutes. We'll have our annual meeting, which will take a few minutes, and then we'll have a big feast. It looks like everything is prepared for a sumptuous meal that we'll share together. Okay, so which song do we want to do first, Becky? Imagine. Imagine is on page 21.
Okay. And you got a chair for you over here if you want it. Oh, you got yours. That's yours. I see. Okay.
Hey, Terry. You got your guitar?
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, well, we're going to get going. You can join us when you're set.
Yes, we're going to sing.
Where's your musical instrument? It's at home.
Oh, really?
Gave it to somebody a few years ago.
Musical.
Hello.
All right.
Right.
You got yours, right?
Go down.
Imagine there's no heaven. Easy if you try. No hell below us, of us only side. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries, isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, no religions too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. Now someday you'll join us, and the world will be as fun. Imagine no possessions, I wonder if you can. No need for free or honor, brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. Hope someday you will join us, and the world will be as fun. Oh, someday you will join us, and the world will be as fun.
Thank you.
What about Swing Low?
Yeah, in honor of June 19th. Juneteenth.
Swing low.
Yep, well,
Nope, you can share Annie's.
What page is it?
40.
Page 40.
And pretend you're in a gospel choir.
Yeah.
Or out in the
Yeah.
cotton fields and it's too hot.
that's right.
And follow my motto, which is make a joyful noise.
Did you play it?
No.
Oh. That was the winner this afternoon.
Alright. Sorry, this is too low for some people, but. Looked over Jordan
did I see coming for to carry me home? Oh, and the angels coming after me, coming for to carry me home. Sing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Sing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Sometimes I'm up, sometimes I'm down, coming for to carry me home. Still my soul is heavenly bound, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. But if I get there before I do, coming for to carry me home. And all my friends I'm coming to, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Nice. Okay, here we go. We have where's Nick? You have a chalice lighter quotation, Nick?
I sure do.
We have a candle somewhere. Does anybody see the candle?
Did it come?
There it is. Okay.
Well, while we're getting the candle ready, I have to tell you my experience, which no one else has had in this room. As I walked through that door back there, I saw all my friends, and I thought, uh-oh, I was supposed to pick a chalice reading for the day. I had nothing. But there was a good friend in the audience here called Nan, and she came up to me and said, I have some, pick one. And so she said, this is Lyndon's favorite one.
Oh yeah.
So I kind of thought, you know, I got to be a good guy and pick Lyndon's. But
Oh,
this is
thank
very,
you. This is really good.
very appropriate for the day.
Yeah.
So here we go. It's called A Smile for You, which I have difficulty doing. Smiling is infectious. You catch it like the flu. When someone smiled at me today, I started smiling too. I passed around the corner and someone saw my grin. When he smiled, I realized I passed it on to him. I thought about that smile, then realized it's worth a single smile, just like mine. Could travel around the earth, so if you feel a smile begin, don't leave it undetected. Let's start an epidemic quick and get the world infected. The hands go to Dan.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Dan. So we'll do this call and response style, if that's okay. We light this chalice for the light of truth. We light this chalice for the light of truth. We light this chalice for the warmth of love. We light this chalice for the warmth of love. We light this chalice for the energy of action. We light this chalice for the energy of action. We light this chalice for the harmony of peace. We light this chalice for the harmony of peace. Wonderful, thank you. So, joys and sorrows. Anyone have a joy or a sorrow or something in between that you'd like to share? My joy is seeing all of you here. Nick.
Kathy and our joy is our youngest son is coming to visit us from Charlotte today.
Nice.
With his beautiful black lab dog.
Oh.
That's our dog grandson.
Granddog Day.
Granddog.
Nice. Yes, Bob.
My joy is just being here this morning.
Amen, brother. Me too. Me too.
Such a great shirt.
Yeah. It's a beautiful experience to be here together. Yeah. Oh, here comes Robin. Yes. Yeah.
In between the last service and this service, our daughter and her husband, traveling in Italy, have come down with COVID.
Oh.
And they're getting through it such time that they'll be able to get on the plane to bring them home. So it's not a problem, but it's kind of lucky.
Oh, wow. Wow. Sending good energy and love to them for sure. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Beck.
Bumper crop of tomatoes.
Bumper crop of tomatoes.
Already, right?
What?
How many?
I know where we're going after the service today. If we get there before she does, we can make off with them. Teasing. Yeah. What else? Nan.
I have a joy because I was hearing those children, and of course they were a little loud and all that, but you hear children laughing. Isn't that
Yeah.
what it is?
What a joy.
We don't care. We love it.
We love it.
Horses in the same place. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. What a great day. Yeah. Yes.
Lyndon, I just wanted to thank you for arranging such a fantastic weather for today. It's so hot and it's cooling off like this.
Oh yeah, man. We turned on the heavenly air conditioning last night, full speed. Thank you. Yeah, I'm with you. I love it too. Yeah, I was telling John that my daughter told me that in Charleston yesterday the heat index was 115. Woo! Yeah. What else? Okay. So let's see, together, in repeating, we rejoice together and we grieve together as one.
We rejoice together and we grieve together as one.
Help us remember that every human heart
Help us remember that every human heart
holds its own joys and sorrows.
holds its own joys and sorrows.
Beautiful. Are there any announcements today? Yes. Gretchen.
Just wanted to remind everybody that we are collecting for Summer Food Care. As of late May, there were 159 children enrolled. I was notified this week that there are several more families who have enrolled. Don't quite know how many kids yet. So how do we do?
So
If you're going to donate and write a check, make the check payable to the church, UUFCF, and put Feed a Kid in the memo line. And that way it's-
So you can still write a check for the outreach that we support called Feed a Kid, and write a check and put a check made payable to us, but put Feed a Kid in the memo line so that we'll have that. Thank you. Thank you so
We
much.
promised as a member church or congregation to give $1,500, which is a lot more than we've given in the past few years. So far, I only have a few checks. I'm treasurer, and it's about $350. So hopefully today you have a little more to contribute.
Yeah.
If we get to the 1,500, my husband has pledged to donate an additional 500. But if he doesn't do the 5. So, keep it coming.
Cash is okay.
Cash is okay too, yeah.
A little if you want credit for it, you can put a little piece of a napkin or something.
We have a little auction here
That's your
now.
name on it. But we will pass a baseball hat later to collect.
Collected early, have already given their money in. But as soon as they get it, now they can budget better.
Yep.
How does it work with
The kids are either from families that are clients of Criminal Belt Outreach or children who qualify for free lunch and other things in the schools. Families enroll them, then once a week, when the food comes into Criminal Belt Outreach, a group gets together, packs bags, and then the next day, a group comes in and each car has a route to drive, and they deliver the food to the homes for the week.
That's great, yeah. Yeah.
I've got a question. Do they need people to help pack?
I don't know if they need drivers. It is possible to pack, but you have to register online. I can send you info on it.
What a great thing to do.
You know, there are 7 churches in Stowe, 5 of them are family and the large churches each have 2 weeks where they are responsible for buying the food, collecting and delivering. We have not put but they will pay them for factors from smaller churches. If you're interested, you have to register online, and then there are a few other rules that Colonel Bell has.
Our fellowship's helped them pack before. We've gone as a group to help them pack. It was a lot of fun, really.
Yeah, this time the packing is the responsibility of the big church that's in charge. But if they don't have enough people, there's a sign-up sheet online. You must pre-register. They're very, very fussy now about how many people can be in there at one time. So it's like 8 slots, and once they're filled, no less.
So what Gretchen is saying is that if you'd like to help pack the food that's delivered to the kids, you can go online and register, because you have to be registered in order to do it. And then if there are vacancies where they need people, we can sign up for that.
When you register for a particular day.
Okay, you register for a particular day. Okay.
Packing is Wednesdays.
Wednesdays.
At 10 in the morning.
Okay, packing is Wednesdays, 10 in the morning. Okay.
And deliveries Thursdays. But as I said, I don't think they're looking for volunteers.
Okay, they may have that covered. Okay. Yeah, Monica.
I just have to put in that 1 year, Gretchen and I drove together in the river. Remember that? She saved my dog from a big wicked dog. But one of the things that was so fun was that the kids would be ready for us. They'd come to the door, and once in a while they'd come running across the yard and hug our ankles.
Oh, that's precious.
It was a good
Oh, that's really precious. I love that. So maybe we'll put this in the newsletter, Don. Is that okay?
Sure.
Yeah, we'll send it out. Yes, Robin.
I have a friend who has been a U.S. citizen here from Ukraine, who still has many friends in Ukraine right now who have enlisted in the war to fight Russian invasion. And he recently visited us and explained that he has been collecting money through his church and various other churches to buy protective vests in battle and helmets for the pilots, because some of the vests have been defective and people have been getting killed even though they're wearing them. And so if you're looking for, I know we do stuff through UU and there's many ways to do it, but if you're looking for something specifically that you want to do to help these soldiers, I can give you the information, and he's very trustworthy, and you have to send him the money, and then when he gets a certain amount where it's worthwhile, he buys that equipment and sends it over to his contacts in Poland, who then get it down to the military.
Okay, thank you. It's another way to support the folks defending their homeland in Ukraine. Thank you. What else? Any other announcements? Okay. All right, so happy Father's Day, those of you who are fathers, and happy Juneteenth. Today is Juneteenth, and I have a little thing I want to share about that. The Emancipation Proclamation was signed on January 1st, 1863, which mandated that slaves be freed. But it didn't actually take place until 2 years later with General Lee's surrender at Appomattox, and then the federal renewal of this idea of the proclamation, Emancipation Proclamation. And the day is June 19th, 1865. Can you imagine what it must have been like to be held in slavery? You know, and this wasn't really that long ago. I mean, 150 years? That's a really short span of time, and a short moment in the span of time. So there's a lot of repercussions that are still bouncing around the world. There's a lot of injustice, and the Unitarians have always been at the forefront of the civil rights struggle, and we can be proud of that. What might we consider doing as a small congregation? So I have some more questions for you. Here we are together in this beautiful place, blessed to be free and to have the luxury of having our needs met and have this time together as a blessed community of fellowship. We gather here, and not far from our awareness is the excruciating realities of all the problems in the world, and I'll let you fill in the blanks. There's no shortage of issues. When we watch the news, and I find this in myself, and maybe you do too, I find I'm paralyzed. I'm angry, I'm paralyzed, I'm depressed, and I'm overwhelmed, I'm anxious. And if I spend too much time watching the news, then it just gets worse. A paralyzed, anxious, angry, depressed person isn't really effective, right? I mean, if we want to be effective, we got to do something about that. And what I want us to do today, last time we were together, I had you break into diets, into pairs, and to talk about some of your life story, a short bio of who you are, where you've been, and then I asked that you talk about a struggle that you've had in your life that you overcame. And you guys wrote that stuff down on Post-it notes. I have one word or a couple of words from each of you, and it's on the board over there, just as a reminder that these are the strengths that we have to bring to bear on the challenge ahead, the task at hand. So today, I have a couple of questions for us to work through, and we'll do this just for 15 minutes. I mean, you can hold your breath for 15 minutes, right? If it's, it won't be pain, it'll be a joy. We're not going to break into pairs. We're going to sit at our tables and work as small groups in the table where you are. And I'd like for you to think about something. Well, first of all, let me give you this quotation I have from Kurt Vonnegut. And how should we behave during this apocalypse? We should be unusually kind to one another, certainly. But we should also stop being so serious. Jokes can help a lot. And get a dog if you don't already have one. I mean, he has a certain way of putting things, right? Not to belittle the moment at hand, but to at least remind ourselves that when we're in the funk that we can so easily fall into, we're not very effective there. We've got to find ways to rekindle our flame, restore our passion for doing good in the world. You know, we may not feel like we're making the biggest difference. You remember that Lauren Isley story that he tells about all the starfish on the beach, and the man was watching the starfish and the sun was coming up and they were baking, and they were all going to die, and he saw off in the distance this young boy throwing starfish in the water just above the breaking of the waves so they could swim back out. And the man goes to him and says, "There's no way you're going to save all these starfish. I mean, there's so many of them, and there's only you." Without missing a beat, he picked up another starfish and threw it just beyond the breaking of the wave. And he said, "Well, for that one, it made all the difference in the world." So we may not be able to solve global catastrophes, but we can do some little thing that maybe will help in the resolution of global catastrophes. There is a beautiful quotation that says that our calling, our mission, is that place where the great joys of our heart intersect with the world's greatest longings and sorrows. So, we may not be able to save whales, but we can save starfish. We can do something. So where is that joy in your heart, and how can we use that to make a difference in our community as a fellowship? I know particularly Jean is so enamored of animals and works with the Humane Society. And they don't save every cat, but for every cat that's saved, that cat has a good life. And that little act of kindness and grace sets forth a ripple that ripples out into the world. I've said this so many times, but it's worth repeating here. Gandhi said that we should be the peace, we should be the change that we see in the world. Not talk about it, not talk about people who are not doing it, but actually be the peace we wish to see in the world. When we're angry, we're hammers and everything is a nail. When we're upset, we're just, all the stress hormones and chemicals are dumped into our system. We're not thinking, but when we find a place of calm and quiet, and maybe not take ourselves so seriously, maybe there's a dog that'll lick our feet, or someone will tell a joke and it'll take us out of being so focused on our own suffering and sorrow on behalf of ourselves and on behalf of the world. When we are able to get out of that, then we are actually able to be the peace we wish to see in the world. And the forgiveness research, if you spend 5 minutes angry, that compromises your immune system for 4 to 6 hours. Scientific research, Heart Center, Stanford University. The opposite is also true. If you spend 5 minutes in gratitude or in meditation or, in some of the positive emotions, that enhances your immune system for 4 to 6 hours. And it lowers your blood pressure. It lowers your breathing rate. It increases your heart health. It's just scientifically proven that if we actually embrace the idea of being the peace, we not only are peaceful ourselves, but in every relationship we have, the ripples are spreading out. So what is the joy that you have in your heart, and how can that connect with the world's sorrow? I'd like to ask you, we're going to spend like 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes, just in your groups at the table. I'm going to hand out some note cards so you can take some notes. And I'd just like for you to ask, what is your heart's joy, and how do you think that can connect with this community in Tryon or in the Thermal Belt? And if you're in a group of 4 or 5 and there's some consensus about a particular idea, go with that one. It doesn't have to be every idea you have. Pick one and explore ways that you might see that we could participate in the kind of the healing of the community. And if nothing else comes from this, we'll have a great chance to get to know one another in a way that we don't usually have a chance to do. So we'll take about 10 minutes starting right now, because we got food and we got an annual meeting. And I'll walk around and I'll give you some pens and a little note card. You don't have to take elaborate notes. It's just jot some ideas. First of all, is that okay? Does everybody consent to that? I love seeing so much engagement. This is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let's take about 1 more minute and we'll wrap it up, okay?
Well, you can't process anything alone.
So consider this the beginning of a conversation that we'll have over many months. Anyone willing to share just a snippet from your table?
Sure.
Yeah, Becky.
We find value in connecting through small talk, through volunteering, through making music, through being with good people, just connecting and seeing the value of that, and then that can help us connect with even more people and just know how good it feels to have somebody make a little comment to you and then you can pass that on. So that was big in ours. But also pets, connecting with your pets.
Yeah. Beautiful, thank you. So that kind of core energy of kindness and compassion and support, as we grow into that in our small fellowship, it becomes a magnet to people to come in and participate in that. Love that. Thank you. Who else? Yeah.
So similar connecting, but we talked about specifically connecting through volunteering, benches or putting all sprinkling things kind of.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, all different kinds of volunteering.
Okay, volunteering. That's excellent. That's a real joy that we have in our hearts, and the world has great need of that. We just find ways to connect those two. Yeah, Barb.
Okay, for our table, let me just touch base with each one of the things, and then I
Okay.
can't hear you. For our table, I'm just going to touch base with each of the comments.
If she could stand up, that would help.
I can't stand up, my knees are
I'll repeat it back out.
Feed a kid, ripple effect of anything we do, personal responsibility, animals, volunteerism, and connections. And I think that's a common theme for all of us. We are connected.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And that connection creates a bond that is such a strength for the community. And as we focus our eyes on how we want to participate in serving in the community, that's such a real strength we bring to it. Thank you for that. Good, thank you. Yeah. Yes, Kathy.
Sharing love of music and art with others.
Yeah, music and art. Yeah, the world's going to be saved by beauty. Music and art will lead the way. Yeah, good. How can we use our music to influence the wider community or invite people into a conversation about, spiritual depth? And of course, the gospel choir I've been talking about for a while will fit well. I'm teasing. yeah, but music is so important for connection. Remember those coffee houses we did and how really wonderful those were, working with Robin, and gosh, that was so much fun. Yeah, okay, so, what do you guys got?
First of all, I'm just so delighted to be with a group of such loving and giving people.
Oh, me too. Yeah.
We talked about things from different kinds of volunteering, and even just going, when she's walking the dog, she takes a bag with her, and something like that. And then this gentleman here does his thing with the whole community foundation and follows what's being done in the community.
Nice.
Fit in,
Yeah.
This gentleman is visiting us, and he's a Mennonite, and his church provides transitional housing for
Wow.
people in need, and they actually own a couple homes.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So it's part of the whole group. It's all
I love it, yeah.
Caring about each other.
Thank you. So, would you tell us your name, please?
John.
John.
Yeah.
John is visiting the Mennonite community.
And Emily, my wife.
And then, oh, okay, yeah, well, of course, I was thinking you all were married. Yeah. Yeah, got it, yeah.
But you never know.
Yeah. Yeah. There they are, yeah. I love the Mennonites. Such great work in so many ways in the world. Thank you. Yeah.
It's one thing, another way you could handle this whole thing that you just did, but just think about a time in your life when somebody did something for you.
Right.
And you couldn't do anything to thank them.
Mm-hmm.
And one time I'd gotten money from the bank and put it in one of those little white envelopes they give you, and for some reason I was in Belk and I laid my purse down, and when I pulled out my wallet, that kind of came out at the same time. And I didn't even know I'd lost it. And the lady that was she got on the speaker and said, the person that was at the children's counter or whatever, would you please come back again? So I knew I'd been there, so I thought, well, probably not me, but I'll go back anyway. So I went back, and she said, a little girl brought this up and said that she found it on the floor right there.
Wow.
She said, and there's so many times when somebody does something for you, I couldn't thank her. I mean, because she's gone by then. So all I can do is pass that on to somebody else sometimes.
Yeah, that's right.
Standing in line at the grocery store, and there's a mother saying, well, I won't do that. You know, she puts it aside. You know why she did that.
Yep.
You know, you say, I'll put that on mine. You know, just like those.
Yeah.
And there are little things that you can do. They're
Yeah.
just so delightful to people and
Yeah.
pass on the good that's happened to you in your life.
What a beautiful story, yeah. Life-changing, life-changing, yeah. That great movie, Pay It Forward. If you haven't seen it, that's a good one, yeah. Okay, all right. I'd like now to move into the next couple parts of our time together this morning. We'll do the offertory, so we invite you to participate in the ongoing work of our fellowship through your offerings. And if you specifically want to donate to Feed a Kid, you can do that as well.
If anybody put cash in the hat and wants credit for it, either for Feed a Kid or on your taxes or something, just email me. My email's always in the Wednesday thing, and I will designate it. So, but otherwise, I'll just put it as a contribution unless I see Feed a Kid on it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We're going to have our annual meeting now, and that will not take very long. And we'll rejoice together in a wonderful meal that's prepared for us to share in. We're going to break bread together, and I have a reading I'd like to share about annual meetings. This is from Heather K. Januels, who is a Unitarian minister. From the power of our memory and history, with high hopes for the days that lie ahead, we gather to craft the destiny we share with one another. We gather with faith in the practice of democracy. We gather with hearts and minds open to the wisdom in every voice among us. In our gathering, may we dream and design a bold future. May we bring our best selves to this service. And may we dream these dreams and do this work with love. Amen. Okay, so Bart, are you ready to jump into annual meeting mode? You don't have to jump, you can just kind of walk.
I just wanted to take this moment to thank everyone for coming and for being with us. That truly is my joy. I just so appreciate being with you all. Well, we've done it once more. We've survived another year of strangeness and beauty and trouble and you name it. The ups and downs, do or don't we, etc., etc., etc. of COVID. We've missed some members and friends who are gone from us. We've welcomed happily new members and friends. We have a new sound system, thank heavens, which makes it easier to hear you with, as the wolf said to Red Riding Hood. We've made a considerable contribution to aid in Roseland's community building efforts. We've supported and continue to support outreach programs to provide food and aid to our brothers and sisters, families and neighbors. We've reestablished beneficial contacts with several of our former ministers who are more than willing to come in and help us at any time that they're available and we need them. We've settled into our new digs at WWG. For those who don't recall exactly what that is, that's our Whimsical World Gallery, complete with all the whimsical decorations. It's delightful. In short, we're still growing, getting things done, relaxing into each other. And it brings me joy, and I hope it does for you also. Now, having said that, just a reminder, all members are eligible to vote. Non-members may not vote, but they certainly can add their 2 cents worth. So, this year we need to do several things. We need to approve the budget, first of all. We need to elect several new officers. I hope they're ready and able. Do we have a slate, Kathy?
Yes.
May we hear that?
Well, Barbara as president.
You should go up.
Oh,
Use the microphone. For everybody. Oh, you know, you're used to public speaking, singing, acting. Don't pull that.
Well, Barbara as president, Christine as vice president, Alyssa as secretary, and Gretchen, no, not Gretchen is member at large, and Becky as treasurer.
All right.
Okay.
Now, what is your will on this? Do you want to accept the slate as stated, or would you like to? We're open for suggestions from the floor. Nick?
I'll make a motion to accept the slate as so spoken.
Second.
Okay.
I guess that's it then. You're stuck with me for another year. In the meantime, you better be getting your thinking caps on and you're getting ready to do something, because I ain't gonna do it another year after this. You have a wonderful board in Becky, and I think Alyssa will be a nice addition, and Gretchen's going to be a good member at large, and Christine.
Christine?
or me.
It's our vice president.
You didn't hear that.
So be it. Is there more to, yes, we need to do the budget.
Do a little bit of that. I gave you half sheets.
Yep, I'm the old treasurer and I guess the new one. Gave you little sheets. I also sent those by email, and would be happy to hear any questions or comments you have. You know, I have little notes there about why we do what we do. It's based on pledges that we've received. It's based on last year's expenses and what we think we might do for next year. We seem to be in a good position. Our group has some generous donors. We don't have a lot of people in the group, but our membership has increased in the last couple of years. We've gone from like 24 to 34 members, and even though we've lost a few to death, we've also gained some very lively ones. And they're generous, and we just really want to be responsible to spend their generosity well. So let me know any suggestions you have, and then we can accept it. Yeah, we have, you know, some money in savings, kind of reserve, and since we're not buying a building at the time or in the near future, we're hoping to give that to other organizations in the area. And this year we chose Roseland. We gave them $5,000, which was in addition to our outreach money of $1,200. And so the board has talked about continuing to give a larger chunk to different organizations each year. You know, as long as we still have surplus. We've given some money to, or invested some money with the UUA, which spreads that money into socially responsible investments, and also some upstart, you know, equal justice organizations, and so we feel it's good there. But the board and fellowship members can give us ideas on where they'd like to see the money go, if we still have excess.
Question, please.
Yeah.
Will any money come out of this budget for the feed the children program that we've just been talking about in case we don't quite get to 1,500?
We're hoping to send I guess it could. We're hoping to send a check this fiscal year, but if we send it in early July, we can, yeah, I think we could consider that part of our outreach money of $2,000. So, good question, and
Does that require a motion?
sure.
Well, I'd like to make a motion that the board consider making up the difference between what is received in actual monies
Mhm.
for this project, come out of our outreach activity here in the budget.
Right. Actually, we still have $200 in this year's budget, so I was going to put that toward it, and we could, so yes, there is $200. I did forget to say that. That's already going from this year's budget, and so, yeah, we could make it up
We could pad that out
with some money from next year.
if
Since,
necessary.
There's a motion, is there a second?
Second.
oh, yay.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oh,
Opposed?
good.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay,
All right.
thank you, that's a great motion.
Good idea.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Just trying to spread the money to other needier people, and
And Becky just touched on it, but I think I would like to reiterate, if you have suggestions or knowledge of community efforts that we could be, of which we could be supportive, let us know. Your suggestions will be most welcome, and we will certainly consider them.
because really just about all this money here, except for the post office, which goes to a federal thing, but is going to local businesses, local people, and that's what we'd like to do. Yeah, Nan.
I have a question. I'm sorry I didn't call you on this ahead of time, but I'm curious to know what we spend our publicity money on.
Right, that's a question we can, well, we spend it almost entirely on Tryon Daily Bulletin ads. And that's twice a month. Kathy Fisher puts together a little display ad that says what the service is going to be for that coming Sunday. And each one is $50-something. So, and then there's a yearly almanac thing where we put an ad there too. Whether that's a good place to put money we can deal with as a board, it should come up again, because I'm not sure really. Anybody here come to UU because of an ad in the Tryon Daily Bulletin? No, it may not be a great place to spend our money, but it might also
There's
keep
always
us.
newcomers, people moving into the community, so
Right.
I think it's important to have our presence now.
Mm-hmm. So that's where it goes, Nan, and yeah, Christine.
I was wondering, since we're now located in South Carolina, if we couldn't advertise or have a similar ad in the Landrum newspaper to attract the... It's defunct? There's no...
Yep.
Oh, sorry about that.
So the answer is no.
Well, that's why.
What is defunct?
Right. There used to be a paper in Landrum, but currently not. Yeah, Robin.
Well, if you decide not to use that money for advertising in the paper the way you generally do, hopefully you could maybe do at least one coffee house and use the money.
Right. Yeah, we could, now that we have COVID a little bit farther behind us, we might do some more community gatherings, which Robin was so good at doing. So we have a committee of one who will plan the next coffee house. Thanks for your input. Anybody
Got any more, or want to make a motion to accept the budget?
So moved.
Yeah? Second?
All in favor, say
Aye? Oh, thank you.
Okay.
And thank you to Lyndon and David for helping us draw in new people and making our place so comfortable in Lancome.
Please be sure to give us any suggestions. Ask us anything. Yes,
Will there be new business?
there
Yes.
certainly can be.
The microphone. Nobody knows you're talking.
This is under new business. I'd like to make a motion that the board seriously consider to begin in January adding one more service a month. I think we have a rich capability in those that are serving now in our neighbors, and I think that the fellowship could benefit by this. All of us could benefit by this. The community could benefit by this. So the motion is to have the board study the feasibility of starting an additional service a month, beginning with the new year. Thank you.
Sunday service.
Sunday service, thank you.
Yeah.
Any questions?
That would affect the budget, so what is that?
Well, I didn't bring it up with the budget because this is new business. So they would have to study that in terms of the budget as it's raising funds, et cetera, et cetera.
So this was a request for a feasibility study.
That's right.
So do we have a second for that?
I second.
Question?
A while back, we used to, on the off Sundays, gather and we could discuss books or, so we could do it without needing to change the budget, with not having a speaker and have it be a small gathering like that.
Well, certainly I think that would be something that the board would want to look at, given the experience that the fellowship has had.
So did we?
That's a motion that I put on the floor.
There was a second, and
We did get a second?
Yes.
Okay. So be it.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for that, Andy.
Thank you. Is there more new business from the floor? Any discussion of anything that's gone on? All right. So ends our business meeting, our annual business meeting for the year, and dig in.
Yeah. So,
One of the saddest stories in the whole Bible for me is when Moses, after leading the Israelites through the desert for 40 years, and finally getting to the promised land, he couldn't enter it. And there's a passage that says that Moses leaned on his staff and died. Well, I'm happy I don't have to lean on the staff and die, because we had a great board. We have a great board, and they have made such a huge difference. Don is going off the board. Let's just say a shout out to you. Thank you for your tireless service. And Don will continue writing a newsletter. Who's our other person going off the board? Annie is going off the board, who has been tireless in her work to bring us music and good ideas. And gosh, Annie, we're so grateful to you for your service all these years. I look forward to continuing hearing you play some music for us. And I want to say thank you to the ongoing board for such a commitment of service and professionalism and taking care of things. I mean, it just really is wonderful to work with a well-oiled machine like we have, and I'm really grateful for that. Jim?
I think we should give Becky a big hand for all the work she's done as treasurer. And even for her presentation today, she didn't feel it necessary to go through the budget line by line and tell us. So and that's appreciated.
Appreciate me for what I didn't do.
And then all that you did do too, yeah. And Barbara, for your leadership and your collegiality, I mean, so wonderful. And Christine, yours as well. What a team we've put together, and always full of ideas. Our board meetings can kind of ramble sometimes because we got so many great ideas to talk about, and I'm an extrovert. I love that. And we're getting stuff done. It's really exciting. Yes, Nan?
I think we should think about our noble leaders. I say leaders because
Yeah.
there's this staff side to that. And I really appreciate the fact that I saw a little raise there for you.
Yeah, thank you.
We appreciate you,
Yeah.
we really do. You're
Oh,
working
thank
twice that much, but
Oh,
for people.
thank
Do our
you.
best.
Thank
We
you so
really
much.
enjoy what you do.
Well, thank you. It's a real joy. I love you guys. It's just amazing to get good-hearted people together in a circle and dream about making the world a better place and getting to know one another in the process. It's a win-win-win. Another win will be for me to stop talking and for us to go get our food. So please, thank you.
There you go.
Yeah, no.